How to do dog-to-dog introductions. This video is going to show you 3 dog-to-dog introductions. None of them are incorrect, just this is one way to introduce 2 dogs to each other. The first is in a small community room. Just remember loose leashes. Wait and watch for the dogs to relax. You really want to avoid starting off a dog-to-dog like this. It would have been better if the other dog with the brown ears was across the room. But as dogs do meet, the handlers loosen the leashes and move with the dogs. The goal here is not to inhibit the movement of the dogs. You want to move with the dogs and have loose leashes. If something happens, turn, walk away, add distance. Wait for the dogs to be apart before you reach in and remove leashes. You want to remove the leashes when the dogs are not in the middle of meeting each other. Watch this very closely. Coming up. Did you see it? Here's the precursor to what was about to happen, and it turns out to be a play bow. 1 frame of film was the difference between that little freeze and a play bow. Very quick. And then they go off into playing. The black dog is still not sure what the little brown dog wants to do with this. Here are 2 Akitas meeting. Different breeds have different meeting styles. A lot of the Spitz breeds, Akitas especially, meet with head up, chest out, even if they're happy. What we're doing right now is doing some circle walking. We could have started off walking them side by side outside, doing some parallel walking, and then coming into the play yard to let the 2 dogs meet. You can see Jade, the white dog, is starting to sniff around a little bit. Tsunami's wanting to go see her, and here we are, coming up to meet. Both have some high tail wags. For Spitz mixes, really you have to look at how tightly the tails are curled. Neither tail is really curled very tightly. And again, the handlers are moving with the dogs. And we're going to see something kind of interesting here. And you see a natural break from Jade, the white Akita. Just go with it. I went with it too much and dropped the leash. She comes back for another greeting. The first initial greeting for 2 dogs may be only 3 to 5 seconds, and they'll walk away from each other. Let it happen. Do not inhibit these natural breaks that the dogs will do for you. They'll touch and go, meet, split apart, come back, and if they're very tight or suspect meet and greets by your 3rd meeting, you may have some issues. We simply released them because they were doing very well off leash, and as you can see, Tsunami's interested in the person. Here's another one, Tsunami and little Rudy. He's a little bit of a smaller dog. Rudy's a little bit more energetic, a little bit excited to go see the big guy, and so is Tsunami. But we want both dogs to relax a little bit. Rudy's meeting behaviors could cause a bad first impression. And that very first meet and greet between 2 dogs can set the stage for your off-leash success. So we're still doing some walking in a circle. Rudy's pulling, but I'm just walking in a circle. As they walk around each other, they're smelling each other, getting used to each other. Sometimes this can backfire and both dogs get more and more aroused. Again, this is where we might go outside and do some parallel walking. The last thing I want Rudy to do is to rush up on Tsunami, and vice versa. We have some general distractions here. We're changing directions just to change it up. The orange thing I'm holding is what I call a dog shield. You'll see that in one of my later videos on how to use it. It's just to be able to alleviate problems, cause some space between the dogs, and also help. Now Rudy relaxed just for a second, and I'm telling the new volunteer to move in a circle, keep the leashes loose, and follow the dogs. The last thing you want to do is inhibit any of their movement. And Tsunami causes another natural break. Let it happen. It's very important that those breaks happen. Ah, and Tsunami said did not want to meet. He did a quick little glance, sniffing on the ground, and then comes up. Tsunami's mouth is open. His tail is not curled tightly. If you look at the base of it, his tail is actually pointing back and then curling around. So we decide to drop the leashes. What will happen after you drop the leashes, keep those leashes on. It's a good safety measure if you're not comfortable doing dogs. What will happen now is that they've met on a couple times on leash, but they will go back and do a quick meet and greet off leash without the interruption of us humans. This is just about 5 seconds later, and they come up, they do another meet and greet, again, sniffing, looking at each other, walking around, and they're off. Start with a controlled meet and greet. You're going to increase your chances of a good meeting. Happy tails, people. Off to the park. 2 paws up. Remember, adopt a shelter dog. They're the best.